Hi, so this is really quick on how to have an awakening of mind just by sitting down. So the first thing that you want to notice is that all the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions, and the sensations that are happening nested inside of your perceptual layer, right? So your perceptual layer could be thought of as waves in your sensory nervous system. And then your thoughts, what you think is about those waves, you're looking at a system that's a main wave, which is the perception. And then your thoughts and your emotions are wave patterns on that bigger wave. Right, so this extends all the way down to the day-night cycle of like, here comes the day, and then all of your thoughts and your perception and everything are basically riding on the wave of the day. And then when it comes to be night, all the perceptions are kind of like riding in the trough of that wave of the day-night cycle. So all of your perceptions are nested inside of the day-night cycle, and that's true for if you see an object like we could get really recursive and go to you see the sun, but if you just see your hand is a wave moving through your perception, and your thoughts and feelings about it are all scribbled on that wave. Patterns, other wave patterns on the wave, and that's why when you look at a perception, you have thoughts and you have emotions and you have feelings about that perception. That's the system that you're looking at. Like, so I have a refrigerator that's going out and it's really loud. I think you can actually even hear it. So it's really annoying to me. So there, it's a perception I'm having. It's an auditory perception, and then on that perception is thoughts about it being loud and blah blah blah. Right. So when you sit down, people have this experience where they go, oh, just pay attention to your breath, just pay attention to whatever, just pay attention to anything, right? Anytime you're paying attention to that perceptual field, you're hitting that's the main surface of the ocean. It's not that your thoughts and your feelings and your emotions about things is like less in the ocean, but the pattern is it's like in that sub thing, and if you fall back into the perception thing, you're a bigger swell. So that's an awakening of mind, is snapping out from a small view to like a larger view, but it's not an intellectual larger view. It's you have to feel this. That's why everyone says, oh, it's experiential, right? So you have to sit down and actually, right, when you start hitting the perceptual layer, you can see it. So you can see it, and then it takes a little bit of time to I don't know, we'll sit there, see what comes to mind, right? And it's kind of a falling into the bird sound and the feeling of body and all the ways that people like coach you into it. And it's just like, it's just there, right? It's just there. And where those perceptions start and stop are bigger waves where you can sit down and sense, you can start to feel or sense or spread out into a larger pattern, like a day-night cycle. You can sit and become part of the seasons. And it's like the movement of the day or the movement of the seasons is very, very slow. So when people tap into that or become part of it, it looks like they're not moving. It's like, oh, they're very still. Why? Because everything associated with the season is moving very, very slow. And if there's any movement, then you stop aligning with the movement of the season and you're doing something on the surface of the movement or the surface of the season. And the smallest, tiniest, itty-bittiest little thing that you can possibly be in this big grand scheme of things is the sense of self, or the I. It's like the tiniest, most insignificant aspect of a wave in the midst of this giant ocean of like, the I is on the thoughts, is on the feelings, is on the perceptions, is on the body, is on the day, is on the season, is on the year. And it's just this tiniest little thing that can move around in the midst of all that, disconnected from any of it, able to go anywhere. And so that's the I, and that's usually where if the focus is on the I, then the environment is the thoughts, because the thoughts is the environment of the I. And if there's an obsession on thoughts, then the thoughts are encased in a feeling or desire, encased in a. And so these things are all, you could view it as the 7 circles of hell or whatever, where like the thoughts is this fiery realm that's like just, and then the it gets to be colder, more solid, more like never changing as you go down into perception. So it's like an encasement and then just a blazing thing, and it's a single wave. Right, like it's a wave with a like discharge phenomena happening on the top of it, and that's how the body works. They've actually have that. You can see waves are like a connection point with the above, and if that connection point gets crazy enough, the wave caps will like open up, and that's like dark mode plasma discharge coming off of the wave. It's little known wave science. And you almost have to notice these day-night cycles of thought to see anything like this directly with the imagination. Like, so if you want to be able to see spiritual realities with the imagination, these larger spiritual realities, not just feel them with sort of a blind sight, you have to start to notice the day-night cycle of thought. And you have to start to notice the day-night cycle of the self, and that's like the sun. And if your self is out, you can't do astronomy into the deeper parts of being. It's not visible. It's not visible. So you have to like look at it and then you have to stay awake after your consciousness sets, which goes against your animal nature to like sleep at night or to be very active at night. You might be very active at night, but in pursuing other things. So you have to be active at night, but not pursuing any terrestrial things. And at that point, you can look up into the night sky or the deeper aspects of your being and actually see something. And if you don't have that self-awareness to be still at night or be alert and awake in the unconsciousness, you can't see those things, but you could rely on somebody who could see those things, could describe them to you, or you could read a book or whatever like that. But the thing that prevents or enables the reliable contact with the heavenly realm, with the visual imagination, you have to understand the day-night cycles of the self, and not just understand it, but like push through the unconsciousness, or push through desire for activity, or push through the tendency for the nighttime aspects of yourself to sort of emerge, or the twilight creatures of your psychology. You have to get through all those, which could be like a legion or a horde of vampires, depending on how imaginative you are. But if all of that is surmounted, then you can be awake at night and you can like do astronomy and be like, oh, there's a star, there's the moon. You can build a telescope and go, there's a galaxy, and it goes on forever. And then you could be like, I saw it myself. And then